Okay, I am live and welcome. And Aqua Divin wrote, "Good evening, Michelle. How are you doing today? Hope everything's fine. Thank you. Nice to have you here. Everything is fine and I'm doing great. How are you doing?" So it's always these first minutes that I don't know what to do because people have to find this first. But today is going to be about confusion because that has been going on a lot. So I'm just going to write it, and I know it makes a lot of noise. Topic of today: confusion. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Actually, my bracelets are making a lot of noise, so I'm just going to take them off. Yeah. So I'm just going to give a few minutes for people to get in. And you say, I could have been here. That's great to hear. Just returned from vocal practice again. Oh, great. So now there aren't a lot of people here. Do you want to share what you do in that vocal practice? Because it sounds amazing. And I have a feeling like the voice is going to be important in the future, but not so much for communication as we're doing now. It's more how we... It's so easy to misunderstand people because our emotions are expressed in the vocal cords as well. And if we're just a bit nervous, it comes out differently. Or if we're a bit angry, it's hard to hide it in the voice. And I feel like the voice is going to have another importance because people are going to be better at listening to emotions and not the words as such. Because let's say I'm stressed and I say, I feel fine. I've been looking forward to this. It's such a pleasure being here. And yeah, right. But if I learn to, wait a minute, the message I want to bring, I have to use my voice. And that means I have to breathe, maybe ground myself. I feel great. It's such a pleasure being here. And that's why I would love to hear what do you get out of it. And you say, yeah, we do exercises and singing, breathing as well. Yeah, because breathing is really important and people forget that. I mean, anyone who's seen any of my videos know that I talk as though I never breathe. It's just like tick, 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 tick. And sometimes you have to have a small break because not only do I strain myself and my voice, but people get almost like anxious because they can feel that I'm not breathing. I don't know where that came from. That was, why did I say that? I am already connected. And that's also a thing I want to talk about today because the connection is different. So when I'm not really grounded, I don't feel the connection as such, but this was clearly not, I didn't know anything about this before I started talking about it. And it was like, when I do intuitive writing, I invite in my guides and help them. And I also do some intuitive meditations where they actually kind of provide the words as I'm going along. And I feel as though I'm doing that a lot more now when I'm in the zone. So here they know this is for channeled and inspired information. So I have created a platform for my guides and for the collective and for all spiritual development. So they're just here in another way. And I think that is going to be more and more, obvious for a lot of people. How do you feel about that, Aqua Divin? I'd love to, do I say your name right? Aqua Divin. And do you feel as though something has changed for you lately? I know we probably talked about it last time, but every episode is new. And I have no clue how many people are going to come today because there's like a new energy in the air. But this means that you get to ask all your questions. Do you want any mentoring right now since we're waiting? Or should I start? I don't want to start channeling right now because I will give people a chance to find this. But if you have any questions, if you want me to go in and see if there's a message from Odeon or just me doing a psychic reading, well, it's free, and you have the opportunity to get it just for you because you're the only one who's participating here. And thank you for that. I'm just gonna pour something to drink. I can let you think about it if you want to write something, but I have planned on a new structure for this. So this time I'm serious that an hour and a half tops, then I'm done. So in an hour, I'm not taking any more questions and we're wrapping up, and I'm gonna have it at that. So I'm gonna give people like the last 20 minutes, I'm gonna say last chance for questions. But that is the new structure, just so that it doesn't get too much for me as well, because every time people ask a question, I feel like, oh, I should help them now they're here. So I'm gonna learn to set boundaries, because I thought I was good at setting boundaries, but I realized I'm good at saying I won't take no crap, but I'm not good at setting boundaries for how much I give. I give and give and give and give, and because it feels good and I feel like it energizes me, but it doesn't really so much. Oh, I was just reminded, I actually have a video called Giving Too Much Can Be Too Much or something. So I have had that topic up before, but did I learn from it? I did, but there are so many layers. Like, there are many things we can give. And I thought I was better at only giving to people who appreciate it and people who ask for it, but I still drain myself because it's hard to know what people need if they actually don't say it. So, and that's also the whole confusion. That's going to be the theme for today. It can be confusing to have like a sense of what you want to do, and then you don't want, and you don't have the certainty, but you feel that either people need you or you need to do something, but you don't really like, what is it? What is it? Give me like, give me the manual, but there is no manual. So that's where the confusion comes in, and it's on so many levels of life. So I'm just going to read what Aqua Divine wrote. Yes, you said it right. I feel more connected to everything. Something is shifting for sure. I would appreciate a reading at my current state of being right now. Perfect. So I saw someone else joined, and if you haven't been here before, welcome. I'm Michelle. Oh, I haven't even done a presentation. I am a psychic, healer, medium, and spiritual mentor, and I channel a collective called Odeon, and sometimes there's one entity coming through. Oh, they're just made me we're there's always more than one because they are the collective thing. Always? Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought actually sometimes it feels like it's just one entity, but I have wondered why they almost always say we. Okay. I'm gonna go into do a reading for Aqua Divine right now. Oh, yes, you said it right. That was the name. Aqua Divine. Good. So let's see where you're at. And then I'm going to go in to do a channeling from Odeon afterwards. But if anyone has questions, feel free to ask them if it's anything about the spiritual development part. Good. So you have a very abstract question, just like current state of being. Let's see. What do you want to know? What do you need to know? And what should be public? I feel like a bubbling excitement. So there is something that you're already like working towards, it feels, and it's more as though you need confirmation, but you don't have to have confirmation, because as long as you have just a tiny, tiny bubbly feeling about it, like, I wonder if this is going to be good, or this could be amazing. If it feels like it could be amazing, or it could be good, or at least better, then you're on the right path. And there's some creative part in it. And I don't know if the singing is part of it too, because I feel like I hear music or singing. Um, and I feel like I want to move. So there's definitely things are happening. And it's I feel like you're on a train and it's just getting started. I even hear the engine like, and it's just going faster and faster. So it's almost like strap your your seatbelt and prepare, because if you decide this is the way, and I feel like you have. So I feel like this is just a confirmation. Yep, it's really true. And what you're sensing is true. And there's also like you opened up for believing more in yourself and your abilities. And that is when the shift started for you. It was when you really said, oh wait, I actually can do this. I know this is one of my abilities. And it's good. So let me know if you have any follow-up questions for that, and I'm going to see if there's a specific message in there. I get all like losing my breath, because there are so many things that you're planning but loving it. I don't know. I see like as though you have, it's not a scrapbook, but I still feel like putting it up pictures or writing things and planning things and being creative. And I think maybe I'm seeing a mind map or like mood board, or like there's a lot of plans. And it really, I feel excited for you for what you're planning. And I also see you're not doing it alone. And it's funny because I see like a relaxed situation too, where you can be on the floor and people are just lying, like the feet are up in the air, just like no, having fun and moving things around. So there's really this, make sure that it's enjoyable and not stressful, and don't do everything on your own. I feel like there's maybe some youth or children or something involved. That's the sensation I'm getting with the whole lying on the floor and the crayon. But it could be just you being in that mode of curiosity. And well, even if it hasn't been done before, it doesn't mean it isn't possible. So that is definitely what I'm feeling and sensing here. And I also feel you branching out as though you're going to reach people. And somehow I feel like I could be one of the people you're reaching, but not yet. It's as though the branch reaching out is passing by me, as if you're looking for contributors or partners or investors or something. And those branches, they're just slowly finding their way. So it seems really interesting. I don't feel any warnings. Only like the energy level. Careful not to get too excited, because that takes energy too. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. So you respond, yeah, it's like a train. I also keep a journal of my experiences. Well, I have a spirit visiting often in my room, saying hi, and then just goes away. Yeah, I would love to be part of a community. Well, I have my community. Didn't you get my email? I wrote you an email. I hope that it came through with an invitation to be a founding member at Uplift. But I have time now, because last time you asked about that spirit, I didn't really have time to get in there. I know that I felt it was one of your spirit guides, a new one. I get that again. The new one is like, it feels like it's like a learning, like a mentor, master or something, who's here to help you on your next, because I really feel like you're starting a new chapter. And this is one that can help you. But I feel like the thing I'm like hearing, but you asked me to come. So you asked for help with this, and I'm here. So, and that's probably also why you're open and curious about it. And you say, yeah, just got it. I'm going to respond soon. So, good. I'm happy you got the email, because I didn't send out a lot because, me and marketing, I've talked about it before, but I send out a few invites for the Uplift community. And anyone who's watching, so today is August 10th. And and 2 days ago, I opened Uplift, like a community that I'm going to build with you, so that if you haven't found your soul family or your tribe yet, that's what we're going to create in there. And the first 25 founding members are going to help me build it. And that's why you get half price for a full year. And it's only like $22 a month or $220 for a year. And $220 a year, that's more or less what you pay for one session with me. And here you get like a lot of time with me. So it's going to be pretty amazing, and I'm looking forward to it. So if you find this video later or you have interest in it, just let me know. And for some reason, all the comments in the live session, I'm not able to respond to them, but comments after the video has been uploaded, I can respond. I don't know why that is. So I have been trying to like and reply, and I can't. I don't know why. It's really weird. It says here engage, so I can only start a Q&A or start a poll, but I cannot like click on any of these anything people write, any comment. It's just nice to read, but I cannot go in and send you a message or anything. So feel free to type a comment after the video gets uploaded, or on any of the lives that I did. It could be one of the others, or you can just go to my website, the neurodivergentpsychic.com, and find me there. And if you type /uplift, then you can see about the community. There's also a big button, join the community, and you can read all about it. But it's called Uplift. And if the neurodivergentpsychic.com is too hard to type, it's also my YouTube name here. But I'm switching to Michelle Andreassen because, it's too long, but so is my name. So, and Myron is here. Hello, everybody. Yeah, hi. I think I lost you last time when the connection got lost. I'm so sorry for that, because I didn't see you in the comment afterwards. So if I lost you, I hope you managed to see the video afterwards. And if you would love to be part of Uplift, I'd love to have you there. So, please, you can just go to my website or in a comment, or I can just find, maybe you wrote a comment in another. So if you want me to contact you for joining Uplift, just write it now, and I'll make sure to get in touch, because I think that you would be amazing as a founding member too. So, and Aquadivin, you said, thank you for the reading, Michelle. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome. And there wasn't more. So that whole person that's coming to say hi, I think the hi is it feels as though it's going to be more and more integrated. So you're just going to start communicating and not necessarily see it so much, but it feels like a meet and greet, kind of starting a partnership or something with that guide. Yeah. And people are coming in. So welcome to anyone who hasn't been here before. This is where you can get some answers to anything spiritual. And I am going to channel Odeon, the Spirit Guide Collective, soon. And the topic for today is confusion, because so much confusion about all the things that are happening inside of us, especially if we feel energy. So the who am I? What am I here to do? Why is everything changing? Am I even connected? I don't feel connected, and I feel connected all the time, and I don't feel connected, and I don't hear anything, and I ask questions and I don't get the replies, but maybe I get them, but I don't want to listen. There are so many things happening, and people are asking a lot of the same questions that they have been asking many times, because like our spirit guides have so much confidence in us. So when we ask a question, so let's say I asked, what am I supposed to be doing? And it's like, you're going to run a community and be an inspiration for a lot of people. That could be like very that could be very scary to get that. So people don't act on it. It's like, yeah, that's good. But what am I going to do? Am I going to get a job? How am I going to get money? Yeah, you build the community and you do this. And we want like a manual, like, okay, what's step one? What's step two? What's step three? And we need to do a lot on our own because they cannot take the steps for us. And they also want us to not rely so much on finding help outside, but trusting yourself and your own guidance. So, and I knew that was a bit ironic because your own guidance, when we use our intuition, that's also linked and connected. So we can get a lot of information just by following our intuition and asking our own higher self and also the guides. But we don't have to be so confused. Instead, we should probably start taking action and not, what should I take action on, this or this or this? Well, if they gave you 3 options, it means you have options. So use your free will and go with whatever is easier at first. You can always change your mind. Yeah. So Marit says, do you think I was visited by negative energies last night? Could not sleep. This intrigues me. Okay. So negative energies. There are many different opinions about that. I have never encountered them as such unless I invite them in. So if I hang around people who are very negative, I kind of feel like I can bring their energy with me and be affected by it throughout the day, but only because I forgot to clear myself. And it's only been if I was in a situation where I was trying to help them. So I kind of blend with them and I give them my healing. And if I don't kind of log out or pull myself back, I can really feel like, oh, I feel angry, or I feel sad, or I feel disappointed, and I didn't. What is this? This isn't mine. So that is one way the negative energy can come. And I do believe that what we believe is possible. So I don't believe that I am one of those people where, there are those who call, what are they called? Sticky spirits, or like many people feel like they can attract it or almost be possessed. And that's not in my world. Like, I've never experienced any of that. I've only had so many great experiences, but I know that there are people who live from this, I can cleanse houses, and I've also cleansed houses from, there was one time, and I'm going to get back to you, Marit. I just want to have like the context of what I'm going to say. So I've cleansed a house where a friend of mine was woken, like really someone was shaking her and she was really scared. And when I contacted it, it was, I think it was someone who he was afraid of going to the other side. And I saw him as being like in his mid-20s, maybe late 20s, but as a kid. So I think he was on the autism spectrum, and he was told, you're a bad boy or something, or you're going to go to hell. So he didn't want to cross over. So he actually just woke her up because she kept lying where his bed used to be. Like, when are you going to leave? This is my room. So he wasn't a negative spirit, but she got scared because she got woken up, and he didn't want her there, but he just needed help. So I helped him cross over. And that was really a cool experience because that was when I think I talked about this a long time ago as well, but I was able to show him. So I thought, if spirits can show me how they feel, am I able to show him how I feel if I allow him to feel the energy from everyone I have been in contact with during mediumship? So I was actually able to allow him to feel how amazing it is on the other side, like all the people in the spirit realm who show me how they enjoy their new life and how it's very the energy is vibrant and high, and they're so happy for what they can do. And he was able to feel that and trusted me enough to go into the light. But funnily enough, because he had like a child's mindset, even though he was an adult, for him, some people have like just the stairway of light or something, but he had like a UFO coming. It was so cool because it beamed down, and he thought it was so amazing, and he wasn't scared to get in there, but he thought that he didn't deserve to go there. So the bad energy can actually just be confused energy, like him. He was really confused about what happened. Why was this girl in, or woman, in his room, and he didn't know what to do. So he just got very upset about that. And I want to say this is how I experienced this. And it was quite a new experience for me because I didn't even know, I wasn't quite sure that I believed there was something there, but I actually managed to get in contact with him. So I think that we have very different experiences, and some people help getting rid of energies that are, well, not bad, but might be negative. So that's what Marit says. And you also write here now, my thinking is that I possibly am upgrading, opening my third eye or intuition. Thus I feel or is of more interest, or my daughter is being a trickster. Yeah, I have actually also felt that. It's as though, so like for me, it's as though people are not finding me. The more I step into and open up to help people with their spiritual development, like right now, there are 5 people here. And 2 or 3 weeks ago, there were like 80, I think it had been seen by 600 or 700 people in total. And now nothing. And I don't know what's happening, because that's really weird how the energy is changing. And I feel as though I've been put under a veil because my light might be too bright, because I don't fear much anymore. But to get back to the whole negative thing, I think if you believe that there are negative things and you're afraid of them and you are afraid of attracting them, well, that's manifesting too. So you can manifest that. But I'm ever since I started this, I've just like, I work with light and love and high energy, pure source energy, and I only let good in and only let good out. And that is that's just how I believe this energy work is. So that's the only way I work with it. And every time I sense as though I'm not fooling me, I just pull myself in like my light. I take everything in, and I actually use Archangel Michael to, with his sword, like I see him, he's kind of cutting all cords so that no one is attached to me. It's as though I'm being cleansed of everything. And that helps because I can feel like, yeah, nothing is attached to me. And I haven't a lot of things out there, but I actually forget it sometimes. I should have done that today because I've been worried about people. So yeah. But I'm just going to go into Marit and see if I can get information. And since every time it's a topic where I have opinions or I don't know actually what's happening, I'd like to be able to step back and just allow Odeon to answer, because they're the experts. I mean, they're on the other side. So I'm gonna go in and connect to you, Marit, but I'm gonna ask Odeon to tell us what's going on, and also in general about negative energies, because I do believe they're there, but I also believe that we can protect ourselves from them, and just not here. I'm not interested in that, and it's not allowed. Yeah. And you say, not afraid. No, you become of interest. I was 3 weeks alone in a cabin, now home, trickster. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to see. I'm going to keep my eyes closed because it's easier for me with Odeon to stay in the energy for that. You are weaving many threads right now. It's as though you're creating your own web, and there are things that you are currently working on. It's as though you're creating a blanket or a carpet of possibilities, as though you're creating a new way, a new role for yourself. And you feel inspired, and you understand that there is no light without dark, and hence dark has its room. And whatever you choose to call those energies, you use them as though you're weaving from the energy of that. There has to be ups and downs and light and dark, and there has to be a balance in it all. But for you, you're already really good at creating a gray scale and not so much a black and a white scale. So we have no concern for that. And we do understand how you feel attracted, because you have been weaving many, many, many of these threads before in former lives. So this is not new for you. And it's as though you are becoming more aware of those abilities to almost foresee things, but also create from the energies, as though you can pull strings from the air and work with them and play with them and create new things, new energy waves as inspiration. And you might already have noticed, as though you see those threads also running in lines between people and things, and how things are interconnected, because that is one of your abilities. You are what Michelle is curious now. A weaver? Yes, we will explain that more. So a weaver of, not as a destiny weaver, but you have had the ability to help people, let's say, manuscript their lives. And you have not yet really taken on this ability in this existence, but you play with it and you sense it. It's as though you can taste it. So like there's an inkling of something in the air, and you feel those threads, like tiny hairs or waves in the field around you. So just notice that going forward. And yes, you have had some disturbances last night, and it does feel like something was, let's say, imagine that what you weave could be compared to a spider's web, and those threads were being tested. Like, what is this? What are you doing? And how are you getting along? But you actually protected yourself pretty well. But it would not hurt to cleanse your house. And if you call your daughter a trickster, have her help you, because your energy is also a very, not balancing, but you do complete something around each other that both pulls and pushes, but also combines. So you will experience many alterations in your energy, and it is how it is supposed to be. And she may be curious about your weavings and may even disrupt some of your threads, but do not fear, because this is part of her learning, and she needs you to be her compass and her guide in this. Not necessarily in words, but in energy, and being there and being open to having different paths, but also being able to support and to get inspiration from each other, because you will both be able to show other ways of living, of being, of doing, even though you would say, well, we come from the same blood and the same house or whatever, but you will experience that you have a very different outlook on not necessarily life, but topics such as energies and entities. Yes. As for, we do feel like you might want to clear the house, clear the bedroom. So this is an energy, nothing bad as such, but it could feel draining to you. And this is, you already know what to do about this, but somehow you are intrigued by it and might not feel inclined to actually do something about it, because you also like to see how things play out. But this is not one of those moments. You work with what you're supposed to be working with, and just close the door for outside influences, if you understand what we say. If not, please tell us so. And Michelle would like to comment on some things, and we understand why. So we're going to let Michelle get back in. Okay. So you said carpet. Yes, I am creating heavily. You can imagine how forceful I feel. 100%. Thank you. Noises last night. Weird writing on YouTube. Yeah. So I didn't really like being a channel for this message. It was hard for me to be in the background, because I actually saw as like in the corner of a bedroom. It looked like some creature thing. As I mean, you were the one weaving, but it looked like, I don't want to say that if you're scared of this. I hope you're not scared of spiders, but it felt like that energy of something like, what is it you're doing? But it didn't feel evil or bad or anything. It just felt curious as to, what are you able to create? So I guess the reason why I would see it maybe as a spider is the weaving thing. Like, what can you do that I cannot do? Or because it didn't feel like you had the same role or worked in the same way, but it was more, interesting. And I think it corresponds to your way of saying that. What are you saying? I feel that, yeah, that you are more of interest to the energies. But I felt also like, protect yourself. It could just be like sage, or, well, you could actually just say, be gone. You have that, like, boom, you manifest it, and you're weaving it. But it felt really cool. I saw like tiny golden threads, or lightning. It was really cool, those threads I saw, as though you were just sensing things and creating from it. That was different. Yeah. 109%. Okay, better than 100%. Yeah. But it didn't feel like it was something to be scared of. And it was interesting what they were talking about, that for you, the light and the dark is something it felt like you created with it. So, well, it makes sense. So I just saw, if I want to write, I need black or dark ink on white paper, and if I want to be able to see it, and that you didn't as such need it to be opposites, but they could work together. So I'm guessing this must make sense to you, because I'm confused, but the topic is also confusion. Yeah. But awesome. But I also feel like somehow you invited it in. Like, if you think that you're gonna be of interest, you might, like, oh, someone is afraid of being discovered. Let's say what they're afraid of. And again, I do not like to invite in those kind of, ooh, we have to protect ourselves. But we should always, like, as long as we just build up everything in love and light and the highest frequencies, we are protected. We don't have to do a lot, but still set boundaries. Like, all my guides and the spirits, they know my bedroom off limits. Like, I've never had any visits in there, and I don't want them, because I want to be able to not be afraid of going to sleep, because I don't want to wake up by someone shaking me, so they know they have to protect me in there, and it's just off limits. No ghosts allowed. And you can do it with your house. Like I have black tourmaline in everywhere you can enter the house. I have black tourmaline, and I've asked for some angels to come and cleanse it and protect it. So I've set up like a grid. So that's how I protect myself. Not because I think something bad is going to happen, but I did it while I was cleansing. So because I believe in energy. So if I'm upset, frustrated, sad, it's going to leave an energy mark. So I cleanse that out, and I ask for help, and I fill it up with love and light and laughter and good opportunities for the future. And I also build like a protection when I'm doing that. So it's like an extra battery of joy and happiness that I can draw on for a rainy day. Yeah. And you say, thank you for your time invested in this and energy. You are welcome. My pleasure. Okay. So we have been at it for 40 minutes, and I'm going to go in and channel a bit more just to really allow. I feel like there's a message coming about things. So if any of you want to have, if you have a question before I start to really go into the message, what it is they want to share with us today, you feel free to ask. But I'm gonna prepare and yeah. So no questions. Okay. So let's see who's going to come through and what they're going to say. So I'm just going to ask for some guidance and uplift on whatever is going on right now. Like why are people confused? Why is it so hard for us to act on everything? And especially right now, people are being confronted with a lot of things from the past, old wounds and things, garbage we need to let go of. And that was kind of like last year. We knew we had to do it before New Year's Eve. And I feel like a lot has come up again. And I'd like to know where we're going from here. And I guess a lot of other people would like to know that too. So I'm going to go in there now. And yeah. Have fun with it, enjoy, and I'm looking forward to what they have to say. Yeah. Blessed be. It's a pleasure being here. We're just adapting to the energy right now and getting a sense of the room. This is nice. Not so much confusion as Michelle would make us believe, but there is still some, let's call it active energy that is settling, finding its way, finding its flow. But a lot of you have some excess energy, and a lot of you will be not struggling, but some have been gifted extra energy, and it is hard to process what is happening with this, because you would probably think of energy like a battery that gets supercharged. But for you, it's more as though you're opening up, and the opening can feel empty because you have more room, more space, more opportunity. And because everything was so compact in your little human shape. Now it can feel actually as though you have been abandoned, and you can feel a bit alone inside that amazing body of yours, but it's simply because your energy field has changed. So where you would find us before, we're still there, but you just have more room for us so that it's not so crowded, even though you will be able to take in more. And many of you have been practicing a lot of things, and those things have become like, hmm, almost common knowledge for you. And thus, you do not have to struggle so much anymore. So the confusion can actually be because you got the upgrade, but you think you're still loading, so you're not really using it. And although it has happened, mm, it feels as though everything has changed, but it really hasn't. It's more like on autopilot now. So you do not need so many things. You do not need to work so hard for the same things when it comes to spiritual work with energy, with your spirit guides and channeling. And some of you may even have noticed that you have started dreaming things and you know things more. Like you have been made aware of a lot of patterns from your past and your present, and as though you have had therapy about it, because many times you will know, oh, okay, this is coming up because, and this reminds me. It's as though you have been become an expert in some extent of your own mind and how you work, but then new topics arises, new, let's call it, um, dependencies. If you start to loosen the knots on some things, then other knots will come, and those things might require something else from you. So that feels as though you're not as adept as you were when you were working on what you may have seen as the same issue or the same type of energy before. But you're working on new issues now. We have moved up the levels. So let's say you worked on, I don't know, let's say being bullied, because that is what many people can relate to. Some were bullied bad, and some have just experienced being not welcomed in a bigger group. So if that would be something you have worked on and you have processed it and you're over it, so you put it in as, I have that experience and that has caused this trigger, or this has turned me into a person who has this kind of thinking or preferences. But now it may come up again, but now you're not working at the same level. So now you might actually know, huh, so this is what it did in my energy, and this is how it affected my path in terms of where I would meet other people, and how these wounds are kind of part of my song and not just like experiences. So we have moved away from what your mind can logically deduct and analyze and retract and come to a conclusion about. And now it's being integrated into your energy as, well, let's call it an ability, because now you are a pattern or a trigger master of some of your own wounds. And that can hurt too, because when we feel things, we tend to think that we are the emotions, but that is not what is meant here. It is actually to let the energy flow through you as information, and not as something you have to relive or revive or re-traumatize. It has been done, it is over, but now it's an accomplishment. It is something that you can use as a gift. So like tiny pearls on a string, everything you have experienced and have already been working on, now it has been transformed into a greater strength for you. Not just a knowledge and an understanding, but it has actually made your energy stronger. And that is for some confusing, because those things used to be what would pull you down, and now it is lifting you up. So this can feel like opposites, or as something, some would maybe even feel like pulling apart. So it's hard to explain this because it's new. It's something you have not experienced before. And you can just imagine how Michelle cannot make words out of the images we're showing her. Okay, so we need Michelle to pull back, but she is curious to see if the transmission is still going. So we will just let her have a short break, and then we will come back with this. Yeah, sorry about that. They showed me like as though we've been bigger. Like I saw like a big cauldron, as though they were putting in marbles that were flowing around, but I couldn't make sense of how that was an ability. So I hope they can create a better image for me. And Aquadivin says, thank you, Odeon. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, so I'm just gonna see if they can somehow explain that, because I have a hard, because it doesn't make sense. So when it's not logical for me, I struggle to, I don't know how to do the whole trance thing. So it goes through my processing brain. And sometimes I just like, I don't know. So they're using me and I'm still participating. But it was somehow all the things have become, they said ability, everything we have worked on and gone through and processed have now, it was as though it was changed into a gift in our energy, and our energy got stronger based on that. That could be awesome. So the more struggles you've had in your life, the more powerful as an energy being you're going to become. So let's see, if you want to be a healer and you've had a shitty life, then you can be like, boom, instant healing. Yeah, a master of that. I don't know if I'm exaggerating, but it just felt like that was kind of what they were saying. But I'm going to invite them back in. This was a very feminine energy. I've had a lot of male-like energies. This one felt more motherly. I'm going to invite it back in, see what it is they're trying to say. But it was very confusing for me. So this is just me wanting to apologize, because I got confused. Like, what do they mean? Like, we're being pulled apart and pushed together, as so it's like that's what the confusion came for. The reason why it didn't make sense is because that's not how I've been feeling it. I've just been feeling like I used to have my guides here, and now they're just kind of with me inside my own energy field, and it feels weird and different. But they showed like we have amazingly huge energy fields now, and there can be so much in there, and it's a concept I don't yet grasp. So I'm gonna ask them. So Marit said, is it possible to feel less focused, aware on your human, and more the force you are? And especially be calming if you understand. Then there exists no fear, barely for anything. It is only 3D, 4D. Yeah. I feel like that was somewhat what they were talking about. They said something about the human body, that we were not, so what we were containing, they showed us as this tiny container that everything we were learning had to go through to, but now we have been enlarged, so we don't have to contain it inside a limited space. Like, our space has been pulled out so that we really can become more aware of, as you said, Mari, the force you are. Yeah. And as for the fear, So I'm still connected, not to that same energy. Now it's more like my guides. It's such a weird concept with the Odeon. I actually feel like I sometimes connect higher up, but my guides are kind of saying that fear is very like some people need fear. And that's kind of stupid. No, I shouldn't say stupid. That's but why do we need fear? But it's just like we need darkness to appreciate the light. But a lot of people are not able to accept that you can have a life without fear. So for them, it's going to be harder. And oh, okay. So they're kind of here. So they're explaining how we can become confused. Oh, I lost it now. It was as though they showed me it. The confusion and the fear. If we're ready to get there, we can also get confused in the beginning, because if we don't want to have fear for things, how it makes us feel more alienated from people who are very much in their physical form, and they watch the media and they see the news, and there are so many things to be afraid of. So if we go into the not having fear, it's harder for us to relate to other people. No, actually, it's harder for other people to relate to us, because we can still relate to them. We understand, we've been there. But they find it very hard to believe that what we feel and what we may be trying to communicate is real, because that's not how they see the world. So that brings confusion too, and also a fear of losing people, of losing friendships, of losing family, of losing bonds. Because if we change too much, well, they're showing me as though if you become like a balloon and you're flying high, then it's people can't reach you. You're up there and they're down here, and you shape shifted, and you're up there floating and being free and having an amazing view and deciding how your world is going to look like, because you choose where you want to have your focus. But people down on the ground, they cannot choose as easily. So that confusion is also, we feel that we as spiritual people may either be doing things wrong or not doing it right, because we expect other people to be happy for us, or to that we can inspire. But we can never choose other people's path. We can only hope for understanding for our journey, and that people will not kind of shut the door on our on our journey, because they don't want to believe it, or they feel jealous that we can be not in fear, or we make them feel wrong. There are many things at play here, but I'm going to go in again. I'm just seeing you say, our human is more and more in the way. It's the fear of the unknown. Yeah. And we even have the fear of unknown as spiritual people, right? I mean, I can have it. I have been in contact with so many amazing spirit guides, and I never know how to say deceased loved ones, or people in the spirit realm. There are so many expressions for it, but people who have been like family members, or people that I know used to know, and they're somewhere great right now, and they can still be part of our lives. So if you're not afraid of death anymore, can you then be okay with death? Because death can still be horrible, and it's gruesome, and war and disease, and because we still have emotions, and it's gruesome, and we don't want that to be. And that's also confusing, because how can you not fear it and still grieve for it or be saddened by it? There are many facets to this. And you can also piss off people if you say that, death is just death. Like that, it's taboo, right? So I'm gonna ask them again what they meant with this whole opening up thing and confusion, because we'd like to get some answers and not just more things to be confused about. So I'm gonna see what they can do with that. Oh, yes, we're back. We're making Michelle aware of the sensation now, because she used to have this very distinct sensation of communicating to her right, above her shoulder, or a bit further up. But now it's as though we are entering from above and kind of filling up the space from inside of her. So we're talking from inside her center, and this is a new sensation for her. And we're making her aware of the sensation of us taking space as we're spreading out from inside and out into a bigger field. And for her, it's as though it's as though there's an echo to our voice, because there's a lot of room here for us now, and there wasn't before. So it will not be as draining as before to have these interactions with us and this communication. And many of you are going to experience that. You can just sit and have these conversations with us, because you have been opened up now. So even if you thought you were not a channeler, or if you thought you did not have great communication, we encourage you to give it a go and see what comes if you open up and allow in to the highest and the best. Yes, Michelle also wanted to put that through. She wants always to set the intention to only invite in what is good and of the highest, and light and love. Yes, Michelle, that's fine. We will continue from here. So imagine this. Imagine you woke up tomorrow and you had 4 arms. That would be, well, scary, or freaky was the word Michelle wanted us to use. But what if it was a benefit? What if suddenly you could do more because you had more limbs? What if you woke up and had the legs of and and oh, Michelle is laughing. We cannot communicate. An emo, as though you could run really, really fast. That would also be pretty freaky. But imagine that this has happened in your energy. So you've had add-ons to your abilities, and so to not break the shell you already had, we did not, as such, alter. We added and helped you. Imagine that you thought you were a size, let's call it medium or large, as in when you put on clothes, and you thought that that was your size, but all the time you have been wearing a one size fits all, because it could change the shape according to your needs. So now we have helped you open up for the amazing abilities that were yours to gain over time, because it was always planned for this. We were not sure when we would actually get there. And some will say we did it faster than expected, and others have been waiting impatiently for a long time. But it was always planned, and that is why you were born into this existence with this ability. But now we have helped you realize that you had some extra functionalities, and they can still be upgraded. But just know that if you feel as though you have lost touch with your abilities, that is not so. You have been granted more, and just like a Swiss Army knife might have a lot of very helpful tools. Sometimes you only need to use one, two, or three of them most of the time, but now you have access to more of them. So maybe try to play with them, open up, and see what you can actually do. And sometimes you can use more of them at once. And don't as much think of it as a Swiss Army knife, but think of it as a giant toolbox that is integrated as an X-Men or a mutant. Michelle is thinking of all the Marvel movies as though you could just change, or a transformer. So if you need to be able to do one thing, you can change into that, and you can also do another thing the next moment without as such changing your outer how should we call it, appearance. This all happens in your energy, but you have so much more now that you were not aware of, and that for now has been part of your superhero movies. But think of it as an energy, not as a shape shifting thing as such. But what if you could send out a lightning bolt, or what if you could actually access the awareness of the entire planet, or if you could shut it all down and just be you in pure light and love, and connected directly to the source. You can do pretty much whatever you want to if you practice. You do not have to fear that you're not doing it right, because there is no wrong. There is, of course, um, you can you can prolong the process if you do not ask for advice from your guides, because we're here to help you. But we know some people are stubborn, and some of you will want to just try, see how it goes, because you are playful or because you are stubborn, and that is okay too. You are allowed to be stubborn even when you're doing energy work, but just know it may cost you some time, and you would have gotten better results if you just ask for help, and not necessarily from us, but from your inner guidance or your higher self. It is right there, accessible. And yes, believe more in yourself, because you also have some a lot of you have some blockages that you have believed about yourself, that um, you are a slow learner, or that you often make bad choices. All of those, forget them, and just try, try. Um, Try, and you shall learn, and no harm shall be done. But this is an adventure. This is an amazing adventure for you. So have a great trip, a great journey, a great what can we call this? Because this is something that you haven't had before. It's as though you're going on a rocket ship and you're exploring space, because that is actually um, possible too. So enjoy the new higher frequency. And every time you feel confused, tap into it. And is this mine? Should I cleanse myself of other people's energy? Or should I trust myself and the guidance from above or from within more? And then just have fun with it. Yes, have fun with it, but more in a grateful and trusting way. You do not need to be all passion and light and, oh, this is cool. You actually can just sit down and really enjoy, like the weaver who is creating something beautiful with patience and deciding and planning. But you could also just be the person who throws out all the puzzles on the table and finds your way, because that is how you enjoy it. If you need the adventure and the experience, there's no right, no wrong way, and you're all different, even though we are one. But enjoy your own, maybe peculiarities, or what makes you unique, because some of you may also struggle with the whole being unique now, if we're all one. And the uniqueness can be hard. It can be what is making it difficult for you to fit in. But this is the one, let's call it a bit tough part of this message. You will experience the more you thrive with this and the more you excel in this new version of you, this energy that is yours, this frequency or vibrations, the light and the love that you are. You will, to some extent, maybe experience that some people will no longer be a part of your journey, for better or for worse, but it does not necessarily have to be a bad thing. Some people are here for a time, some have purposes, and sometimes some people have the purpose of showing you a pattern and helping you move to the right path, and then they do not need to have that role anymore. So they may leave your life, or they may change their role or their importance to you. But fear not and dread not, because you are gaining so much more, and there is a community and there are people here for you, and so are we. So you are never alone. So thank you, and blessed be. Yes. Okay. That was I do not even recall all of that. Well, as far as I remember, it was very much in the light that I also go. Yeah, it was nice. So the superhero thing, they showed as though, if we just imagine, so I guess many of us would be really good at visualizing things. So let's say you'd love to be, I don't know, Elasti Woman. So, oh, the remote is all the way over there, and just imagine in your energy sending out as though you could like have the remote. And oh, they're actually saying, yeah, you're going to experience that many people don't want to waste their time around the television anymore. Okay, well, never mind, that was my example. I wanted to have an example, so we could maybe just change the channel just by thinking it. It was as though we can practice this, and I still find it, I'm just like, yeah, as if. So I still have a lot of blockages on that, and that's the practice. Like, if you stop believing that you cannot do it, what are you going to be able to achieve then? Because just like we can manifest bad things, we can also manifest a hindrance to our own development. So that was pretty cool. Okay, and let's see. Marit, you say, my son came to listen. Johannes is 19 and also someone who feels easily energies in people. Intriguing topic as he listens closely. Yeah, nice. Welcome, Johannes. It's nice to have you here if you're still here. Yeah, young people are gonna be. It's gonna be so exciting to see where they're gonna go, because I have met so many people like early 20s and they're super open and curious. And then I meet others and they're just super close. And I thought it was like, I thought they were more or less all like star seeds or indigo kids or whatever. And then some people are just very old fashioned. It's really weird how things are changing. And it's an adventure, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going to go. So, I actually think I'm going to close down now. So, last chance if there's a question. And again, if you want to join Uplift, the community I'm creating, where we're going to be able to practice together. There are going to be weekly lives with me. So it's going to be a bit like this, but I'm going to have you on video so we can actually see each other and talk. So this all one way and comment thing, it's not good for me. I need people. I need you. So even though I can get a sense of you and can connect to you, I'd so love to have more connection. And I've started to put in text. So I've channeled a lot of texts from Odeon, and I feel like maybe I should share one. as the last thing for today, because they have been giving so many cool texts that can help with this. And let's see. Then the unexpected. There must be a reason why I saw that one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Marit says, perhaps we can both join your community. Yeah, maybe. Thank you for your time and energy, Michelle. I'm looking forward to Uplift as well. Good. I'm happy for it. And I really have, like, we can build something together. And I'm, of course, I'm the host and I'm going to do a lot, but I want it to be our place. Like, you can get guidance and I can bring in Odeon, but my goal is really to lift people up to, like, if there's something I can do that you cannot, I hope that I can bring you up so you can do the same things. And that's also what Odeon will be there for. So all the inspiration you can get and the practice. And I hope to really, like, infect people with my curiosity and my willingness to make mistakes in a safe space where we're all there to help each other and support each other, so that you're not afraid of what if I can't, but you're looking forward to what if I can. What can we do together when we don't believe in boundaries in our abilities, and we're not trying to be too logical about everything, or comparing ourselves. So if you want to compare yourself to something, then compare yourself to yourself. Like, yesterday I was able to do that. Today I'm not. I'm not worse today. I haven't lost it. I can do something else, but maybe my abilities are changing. Or maybe you say, oh, wow, today I was able to do that. I couldn't do that yesterday. Yay, me. Forget about the others. They have their journey and you have yours. And actually, so I'm gonna end it off with this text I wrote on December 12th last year. And it's called The Unexpected. And I just want, before I start, so just like I channeled now, that's kind of what I do. I tap in, but then I write, of course, so eyes open. But first I ask for a title. I don't know the title in advance. Sometimes I actually have a title and I want them to help me with a topic. But and then I just start typing. And sometimes I have to kind of write the image they're giving me and find the word afterwards, because it's flowing, and that's how I know it's not coming from me. But sometimes it's a cooperation. But this one, I hope you like it. So it's called The Unexpected. When we expect something, we set requirements. When we set requirements, we are more likely to get what we desire. However, when we do not get our requirements met, we may be disappointed or even sad. What if you could have an idea or an image of what you wish for or desire, but also add the element of surprise to your wish? What if you're always excited to see what you may get, even if it differs from your wish, and trust that there is a reason? What if what you wish for, with all your requirements, is actually setting boundaries for what you could have gotten? Could you learn to do that? Ask for something and trust that you might get something different that turns out to be better, even if it may not seem so at first. What if there is so much more for you than what you could possibly imagine? But since you cannot imagine it, you cannot set the right requirements, and hence your reaction to receiving it might be negative. What if you wish for a specific gift and know the size of it, so you reject anything in the wrong sized package, and there may have been a treasure within? Could you believe that it might benefit you to be curious about anything that you receive or encounter, and not let your expectations of a gift or an experience decide whether or not the actual thing is of value? We're not saying to not go for your dreams and to not set requirements and boundaries, but to be open in those instances where you may actually be lucky enough to get an upgrade, even if it doesn't look like your initial desire. We believe in going for your dreams, in setting clear visuals of your goals and needs, but more important are your emotions. How do you wish to feel? How much are you open to receive if there were no boundaries? How much more interesting could your life be if you expected the unexpected as purely positive, as a gift or a lesson or an opportunity for your future? The unexpected may feel unsafe and unwanted and sometimes scary. But what if the mere act of allowing unexpected things to show up to support you and guide you and help you grow is all that is needed for you to embrace the wonders of life and be fueled by wonder and love and gratitude? That is what we wish for you. And that is where we work for you, in the unexpected. So that was a text from Odeon. So I have a lot of those texts, and I'm gonna do something with them. But I really liked how that was. And Marit says, "Great text, thank you." And you also said Johannes is going to study. Unfortunately, I think he has this own future which he creates. Yeah. And Aquadivin, that was beautiful. Thank you. I really like writing those because I always wanted to be a writer, and I've started so many books. I have like a whole catalog of files with unfinished things, but when I let them write, it's just like, and suddenly, boom, we're done. And it's like, wait a minute, is that even a full text? And then I read it, and it's like, okay, there's actually, it makes sense, but I don't know where it's going, and I'm always curious. And then when they like done, it's, oh my god, that just came through me. I can actually write things, but it's not really me. So it feels kind of cheating, but I love making these texts. And that's also something that we can, like in Uplift, we can have these small sessions where we build the energy together, a small meditation, and then we write, and then we can share and talk about it and how it is. And I've really loved doing that when I've had the chance. So I hope that that more people want to join. So if you're watching this after the live, just write in the comments Uplift or membership or I want to be in. So, and then, because as I said, I cannot comment on the comments in the top chat. So that's so annoying. Yeah, we will read. You're very, very welcome. So they have, all the texts are about either manifesting or using your gifts or being human. They're really amazing. I love those texts, and I am looking forward to sharing them with you all. So until next Monday or before in Uplift, it was a pleasure, and I wish you an amazing week or time or whatever you're going through. And I am looking forward to the unexpected. So with lots of love and light and kisses, and take care. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye. Oh, I just saw Marta Bosch's very hopeful. Thank you. Uplift. Super. I'll get in touch with you, and welcome. Nice to have you here. So, and until next time, bye.